And welcome back, Fire Addicts, to another episode of Travis Does Firewood. Today, you're going to help me restock my firewood stand. Dig it. So I went camping the other weekend. I think in a previous episode, I told you, or I urged you folks, if you're going to go camping, go somewhere, and you do firewood yourself, don't bring your own firewood. Buy local. Well, I ended up bringing some of my own, but then I ended up buying from there, and I bought 2 bundles for $5 a piece, the same as I have, and they gave me these like giant pieces, and they weren't even in bundles. They're loose stacks. So like, what was I paying for? It was like almost $1 a piece each wood. Like, I sell wood for that on my with my bonfire racks, but these are just, and I don't think they felt wet, like they were like uncovered. Like, come on. I mean, you want to buy local, but anyway, I digress. Let's check out the wood stand. It almost feels like lately I restocked the firewood stand, and I come out an hour later, or see a ping on my phone for my cameras, and someone has come by and bought wood. And because of the whole setup, and because of my rapport with my customer base, people don't even message me. They don't even call me or text me. They just come, grab the wood they want, they pay in the cash box, they pay via Venmo, and they go. I don't need to be present, which is why I like the setup. It's passive income, more or less. So right now, all we have is firewood bundles. 2, 3 is 5, and 1 more. That's 6 bundles. That's all I have. My non-premium bundle, or the kindling bundles in the back, empty. My premium bundles right here for kindling, empty. My bonfire rack, empty. My $20 rack, front and back, empty. I was able to maintain my mini bundles. I did a few more of those off camera the other day, and so those are stocked, but there's a stand not stocked. So today, in terms of the video, still before the 4th of July. So I think a lot of people have been prepping. They have been preparing for the 4th and buying firewood now. So I need to get this restocked in case I get hit again. The people don't come by, see that's empty, or they don't see what they want, and then they end up leaving, and they go into the other store, gas station, hardware store, and buying their wood. No, I want them to buy my firewood, no one else's. So I need to make sure this is all fully stocked. So let's go back down the hill and get some more firewood. All right. Welcome back to my bundling station here. First thing to do, easiest thing, is to make kindling bundles. So I have a bunch of kindling here, ready to rock and roll. So right now I'm going to be making a premium cedar kindling. And again, if you're new to the channel or first tuning in, or you forgot, I sell my premium cedar kindling bundles, more or less 1 cubic feet of cedar kindling for $10. Now, when I'm selling my premium grade, I'm looking at it and make sure that it's more or less straight, no curves, straight grain, no knots, no holes, no curvy curves, no rot. It's a good looking piece of wood. So you're buying quality. I need to get better on my lengths here because of how this was bucked when I got it. I don't think I bucked it. I think it came on these various lengths, I think from one of our best friends. And I think this whole thing here is all premium, so I'm just gonna load it up. But yeah, that's my premium. And then I sell, which I'll make in a second, I'll sell non-premium, which is gonna be half of a cubic foot, and that's gonna have bark on it, that's gonna have knots, it's gonna have waves. It's not gonna look pretty, but it is gonna burn. It will help you start your fire. So half a cubic foot, non-premium is gonna go for $5. So that's that's the range there and such of how I of how I label and categorize my Cedar Kindling bundles. Now, the point of this episode, per the thumbnail that you saw, is I did the math. First off, let me backtrack for a sec. We had a great month of sales in June, last month. Great month. The best I've had of any summer month in my career and a side hustle of selling firewood. I'm going to say that right now. It was a good month. Now, I wanted to figure out, because I made so much money last month, I wanted to do the math, because a lot of people who may sell firewood will thumb their nose at selling small quantities. Okay, either they don't see the need for it, they don't see the money in it, don't have the patience to make bundles, or people coming to their house in the firewood stand, they worry about theft. They want to make their big sales, take home a few bills in their pocket right now and not have to wait and sit on wood. Because when you sell wood at the firewood stand, you don't know when you're going to sell. I mean, you don't know when you're going to sell when you have cords of wood either, but you can schedule that. Where people for the firewood stand, like I said before, they come anytime. They come anytime that and I don't need to be present for them to buy my firewood. That's the beauty of the whole thing, right? So I did the math, and because I'm selling, come on, this stupid plastic wrap. I'm about 5 seconds away from 5 seconds away from buying bags. I know a lot of you have already converted to bags for firewood, and I'm getting super pissed off about this crap plastic wrap that I buy online, and by the time I go to buy it again, whatever I bought last time is sold out, or they're no longer in business, or whatever, and I'm gonna buy another brand. It's always a headache. I don't know what I'll be buying, and I don't have time to return it. I just want to bundle my firewood and go. Ugh, frustrating. So anyway, you may see episodes soon of me buying bags and segueing into bagging my firewood and not wrapping anymore. So anyway, I digress. Now I'm going to be making non-premium bundles, which have bark on it, curves, knots, like this. It's pretty looking. It still burns though. Anyway, so I did the math, because when I sell firewood, I track it, and I did a whole episode on how I track and record my firewood sales, because I want to know who's buying my firewood. Not required, but I want to know and what they're buying, so I can prepare for next year, right? This is, why am I putting this here? This is good stuff. I want non-premium here. So in my tracking sheet, I was able to only see June, right? And then I figured out in that because my non-premium Cedar Kindling bundles are half cubic foot, 0.5, and my premium ones are a 1 cubic foot, right? And my firewood bundles are also 1 cubic feet, more or less. And my racks, I'm gonna call that to be 3 cubic feet. I haven't measured. I probably should for the sake of this episode, but I did not. But in terms of like how much wood is there, and if I'm just gonna like average. Same with Same with my bonfire rack. I'm gonna call that 3 because it's hard to gauge all of it. So average amount for all of those, right? And I was able to calculate how many cores of wood I sold worth at my firewood stand. Okay, so I hope you're all following me with this. I was able to calculate how many cores of wood in my bundles, in my racks, just what I sell at my firewood stand. I was able to calculate how many cords I sold at the firewood stand. And just in June alone. Just in June, right? So what I came up with is just over a cord of wood at my firewood stand. Just over a cord. Now with those sales, a few of them included delivery, and a few of them included tips, which I will happily accept. So I included that in the grand total of how much money I made in June, last month. Okay? I hope this is making sense and you're not like totally lost right now. So I made over $1,000 in June, and that could seem like pocket change to a lot of you who are doing firewood for a living, or even in a side hustle. You're doing it more. Your scale is larger than mine, and that's fine. You can laugh, you can gawk or whatever. I mean, it is what it is. This is my story here. So I made over $1,000 in June alone off of basically 1 cord of wood. Yeah, you heard that correctly. $1,000 for 1 cord of wood. No one who sells firewood in bulk is making $1,000 per cord. It's not going to happen. Even if you're in Chicago, I don't think you're going to buy a cord for $1,000. It may go upwards of like $800, or if you're desperate, I guess maybe $1,000. But in most areas that I know of, $1,000 for a cord of wood is unheard of. That's nuts. So my point in telling you the story is that's why I sell in small volume. I don't need to turn over firewood at a fast pace. I don't mind sitting on firewood, allowing it to dry out, season, doing its thing. I do have limited space in my yard. That's true. I do have a large yard, but the space is limited because, again, I want to make sure that I don't encroach on all the grass area where there's less shade, right? I want to make sure that my kids have an area to play in and such. So that's why I don't have my entire yard of just firewood. Because now my kids are young enough where they can be outside and play and frolic and do kid things. But yeah, so space is limited, and definitely I would say time. My time is limited as well to go full scale, blow up, and go crazy big with my firewood. Yeah, so this is more or less 1 or half a cubic foot firewood. So this is gonna go for $5. If you're new to the channel, that's this is what I do. So anyway, my story: 1 cord of wood for $1,000. Granted, yes, that was over 30 days. That was over a month's time that it took to sell that much volume of firewood. It wasn't 1 or 2 trips, but that again is why I sell the smaller quantities, the small volume of wood at the price range I do, because I make more money on smaller quantities than I do in higher volume of firewood. This is so mind-boggling. It's so mind-boggling to me that in 1 month, I mean, I don't know. Maybe the duration doesn't matter, but just one cord alone, one cord selling for $1,000. That's just crazy. So I think it's pretty cool. If you want to get into firewood and you don't have a lot of experience or space or land or equipment, sell small quantities, and it's a money maker. It's a money maker, especially if you're getting the wood for free. Money maker. It's money in your pocket, so you can pay for groceries, beer money, take your kids or family to Disney World. Whatever you do is extra income, and selling it in bundle form or racks definitely is the way to go. Definitely the way to go. That's what I'm gonna say. Anyway, so I have 2 racks, or 2 bundles here of firewood. I have enough firewood bundles up there, you saw, for now, but I need to get a few more racks. So let's load up the trailer with the 2 racks regular racks of wood, and we will load up both of the regular racks. I'm not sure if I have enough wood for the bonfire rack or not. Let's maybe do some moisture testing in a second to see how much the moisture, I think of that, the spruce mix that I processed a few months ago. Let's see how that is doing for seasoning. So here's what I have. I think it was spruce. Found out for a while. I think that episode where I think it's called about bucking time, I think, where it just took me forever to process that load in the back of my property. God, this stuff is hard to get into. That says 9.6, 9.3 on it on the outside, but my prongs are bending, barely going inside. But this should be a conifer wood, so I should be able to get in here fine. There we go. That helps. So outside 18.4. So doing my 2% rule, which you saw the episode, that would be 20% on the inside if I measure it from the outside. I'm going with the hypothesis in theory, and I like it. That says 10.7 or so. This is the bigger piece, so this would be like a bonfire piece. So I do have some bonfire if I need to, I guess. But let's see if this registers. It says 13.7 or so on it. So this wood here may be good to go. I don't know. That's 12.3 or so. Let's do the clank test. Yeah. Okay, so I can definitely take from this wood, which is good to know, because I have, as you've watched the channel a lot, I had different areas where I like to split and stack like species, and then I'll make sure that I have enough drying, enough that is seasoned where I can pull from those stacks to fill the wood stand, and then because I sell a mix at the wood stand. It's usually all softwoods, a mix of wood, like a handful of one species is a handful, and next one maybe like 3, make a bundle, make a rack, and then that's how I do it, as opposed to like only one species. So I like to mix it up. So I've been pulling from various areas, so this is good to know. One thing about this area here, this is kind of hard to get to with the trailer, so I'm gonna have to like kind of, I don't think I'll do this today. If I want to fill up the bonfire rack, I think this is going to be where I'm going to have to pull from, but it's good to know that this stuff is dry enough to sell. So let's go back to where I'm going to get some of the rack wood, and we'll do that first. Ready? Come on, turn off. Ready, go. doing here is when I'm making my racks, I like to have 3 different species or 3 different types of wood in the racks. So each rack is 30 pieces. So 10 of each a type of tree, and the pieces are usually they'll be larger pieces like yay, or pieces that are wonky, like this one has a knot in it, and that's kind of nice, but anyway, pieces that I can't stack in a bundle very well. Those are the rack pieces. Now they get too funky, either they're going to a bonfire rack or they're not be sold at all. I'll burn them myself. So that's how I do it, and I don't do volume. I just count. I should do volume. I just more or less count, but I haven't had anyone want to argue with me or debate besides wanting me to sell them a truckload, which I don't really do. What's at the rack is what's there, or I sell totes sometimes, but not at the price where I've come up doing that a lot. Anyway, so that's why, and I'm stacking in here so I can count, and so I know that this is for 1 rack of worth of wood, and this is another rack. Now when I'm doing bonfire rack wood, I'll just heap this up in a pile, like counting it, and then not stack it, because I only have 1 bonfire rack at my firewood stand, where at the stand I have 2 regular racks. So this is 10 of cedar or cypress wood. They both smell the same, and this is another rack. So I have other cedar over here. I'll get to that. And so let's move on to the next pile to keep filling up the trailer for 2 racks of firewood. So I ended up bringing up some of that spruce that we talked about before in the episode. I'm finding some bigger pieces that were wonky type thing. All right, so the 2 racks in trailer, put them in the stand. Then I'll bring up the 2 bundles of cedar, and then the stand is more or less stocked. So it's the process. But and the thought, I mean, I guess a lot of people who they have firewood stands and they have like loose racks, they call it different things. The term rack works. And then I define that when someone asks me, or it's in the ads, that it's about 30 pieces, more or less, of mixed wood. So, but that's how we make money here, and in my wood yard, is in smaller quantities, selling quality, and little by little making that money, and that money adds up. So like I said before, the whole point of the episode is showcase. I'm not bragging, and maybe some of you are gonna laugh. Oh, that's pocket change. I make that in a day or whatever. Well, I made it with a cord of wood. Cord of wood for $1,000, and I think that's nothing to laugh about. I mean, maybe, I don't know. To each their own. If you want to laugh at me, cool. That's fine. But I think that's pretty darn cool. Even if you wanted to flip that, say you bought a cord for $200. And you went and you restacked it, or you resplit it, processed it further, and you sold it for $1,000 over whatever time span, you more than doubled your money, and you saved time because you bought the cord already split. As long as the wood's quality, make that money, folks. Anyway, I appreciate you tuning in. Until next time. Life's short to be a prick, so be and stay kind to one another. Rock and roll, stay safe, keep gunning. Cheers.